Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunattu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Last class we discussed an important idea, which was the fact that happiness is right within us. It is actually the nature of the Atman, and all that we have to do to bring out that happiness is enable our body and mind, so train our body and mind that it is able to stream out that joy, and understanding that the very source of this happiness is within us. Now this is an important idea, but you can very well ask the question, what is the proof for this claim? It's a huge claim that happiness is not in the object outside. You superimpose it on the object and start liking the object, but it is right within you and it's coming out of your system. So now what is the proof or the evidence for this? You see, if this is true, it will bring a paradigm shift in your thinking, a 180-degree shift actually. So then is there any proof, any evidence for this? Now according to the Upanishad, the Mandukya Upanishad especially, this can be proved even logically. This can be understood very clearly, intellectually. You see, this is how they do it. What they are trying to do is something very simple. They are going to analyze the three states of everyday experience. जो हम जागृत स्वप्न सुषुप्ति कहते हैं ना, waking, dream and deep sleep state. You see, this is the data they are going to work with. With only this much data, they are going to draw tremendous conclusions. Now this is your everyday experience. Yes?
What is the difference between dream and sleep?
Yes, we are going to go into that. We are going to go into that. Because what they are telling you is clue to the presence of the Atman and clue to the fact that the source of happiness is right within you. The Atman is right within you. They are going to prove this through this kind of an analysis of the three states of everyday experience, which you yourself experience every day, isn't it? We have the waking state, Jagrat. We are all in Jagrat just now. Then when you go to sleep, you go into a dream state, Swapna, that is called Swapnavastha. After some time, you go into a deep sleep state, that is deep sleep without dream, that state. Then again you wake up and you come back to Jagrat. So it's your experience, these three states. They will analyze these three states to give you these conclusions regarding the presence of the Atman and regarding where joy or happiness comes from. So just follow me carefully and you will get the point, you will get the logic of it. But if you distract your attention, you will just miss the logic. So follow this carefully. You see, what is happening in the waking state? This is something for all of us to ponder about, because we never pay attention to the subject. Simple facts about our life, it just skips us. Now they are asking you to pay attention to the subject, to yourself. What happens in your waking state? In your waking state, your senses are fully awake, taking sense objects from the outside world, sending it to your brain. Your mind is fully awake. Your mind is interpreting all that information. It is actually giving you your decisions, telling you what to do, what not to do with all the input that is coming in. So senses are fully awake, mind is fully awake in the waking state, Jagrat, just now. What happens in your dream state? When you go to sleep, senses are shut down. Please see this. Senses are not working. The eyes are shut, the ears are shut. You are not taking in sense impressions, but the mind is working, especially the subconscious part of your mind. So out of that you are spinning your own dream, isn't it? Your dream world, is it real? You are spinning it. And in the dream world, it is absolutely real to the dreamer. Only when you wake up, you say that was a dream. But in the dream itself, it was absolutely real, isn't it? In fact, what you experience in your dream, it's an actual experience. If you see a tiger, you will feel fear. If you see something good, you will feel happy. So in your dream world, it is not different from the waking world in the sense you actually experience the dream world. Only when you wake up you say, oh, that compared to this, that was a dream. But the dream itself was very real to you. In fact, you need dream water to quench dream thirst, dream food to appease dream hunger. ये आपकी अवस्था है, उसको आपने study नहीं किया है अभी तक. So now we are going to look at it closely. This is what is happening in your dream state, swapna avastha. And then you pass into the deep sleep state. What is that state like? You see, it is your own experience. Analyze it and see. What happens in the deep sleep state? The senses are shut down. The mind is also shut down. The mind is not operating. This mind is not operating in your deep sleep state, but you have a certain level of experience. What is the level of experience which you have? Listen to this carefully, otherwise you will miss the logic. What is your experience in the deep sleep state? जो हम सुषुप्ति कहते हैं. It is an experience of, well, I did not actually encounter any object, but I slept happily. I had a very restful, peaceful sleep. This is your experience, isn't it? I did not experience any form of knowledge. I did not encounter any object, but I rested very happily. I was very happy in deep sleep. This is your experience in the deep sleep state. अब ये record कौन कर रहा है? Who is recording that you did not encounter any object? Somebody is recording it, isn't it? In your dream state, your mind was recording what dream was occurring. In the deep sleep state, how do you know there was no encounter with any object, nothing popped up in your mind? And also the feeling of restfulness, peacefulness, happiness. Who recorded that experience? आप सोच के देखो, there must have been a recorder, otherwise how do you know nothing happened in that state? And yet I was happy. So this is what this Upanishad is telling you. Subliminal consciousness in some form has persisted to record that nothing, no objective encounter was there in that state, no dream was there in that state. And what is the nature of this experience? Sanskrit में हम कहते हैं, don't distract yourself, don't look at the door. You will miss the point if you look at the door. Just remain focused on this study which we are doing just now. सुषुप्ति में आपकी क्या अवस्था होती है? संस्कृत में उसे कहते हैं सुखम अहम अस्वाप्सम न किंचित मया वेदिशम. इसका मतलब है I slept happily and I did not know anything. Now tell me, was it an experience of the absence of all objects, or was it the absence of all experience? What was it was your own state. First one, isn't it? It was the experience of absence. Very good. You have experienced the absence of everything. इसको योग सूत्र में, पातंजलि योग सूत्र में अभाव प्रत्यय कहते हैं. A pratyay of abhav, which means you yourself acknowledge the absence of everything else, and as well as the fact that you slept happily. Which means what? Even when the mind is shut down, there is something present which is recording whatever is happening, and that has experienced great bliss. That was in great bliss. Which means what? Happiness must lie behind the mind. समझ में आया आपको? Because your mind had shut down. Technically in deep sleep state, your mind is not working. So where did the happiness come from? And what was it that acknowledged the absence of something? So it is an experience of absence. It is a very vital point. Now this leads to two conclusions. You see, you are the person who is awake. You are the person who goes into the dream state. You are the person who goes into the deep sleep state. That same you wakes up and again becomes the waker, which means there is a continuity in your I, isn't it? You don't wake up as a different person. The same person wakes up. So there's a continuity through all the three states, which means what? The same self. You can say an invariable has passed through three variable states. The three variables are Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti. And you are the invariable there. Actually speaking, the three states passed over you. And also, this is one point. The second point is you experienced great happiness even without the functioning of the mind. So happiness, the source of happiness must lie behind the mind. आपको logic पता चल रहा है? कैसे find out कर रहे हैं? You see two vital points with the data available to you within your own experience. This is how they conclude that happiness belongs to the Atman. You are that Atman passing through these three states. Actually speaking, the three states passed over you. When consciousness is intense, when awareness has truly been cultivated through spiritual practice, you will see the three states have actually passed over you. You have been the common factor there. जैसे अगर मैं if I say I A plus I B plus I C, all that Mandukya Upanishad is doing is removing the I into A plus B plus C. It is isolating the witness of the three states, the Sakshi of the three states, and telling you, you are that. You have been recording all that is happening. This is your own experience. And you also found out, you logically found out that even when the mind was shut down, you experienced happiness. That means happiness must lie behind the mind, in the self, in the Atman itself. That is why they say you are the source of happiness. Let me illustrate this with an example. Suppose you are sitting on a road. Okay? Follow this example carefully. You are sitting on a road quietly and suddenly a BMW passes by. Oh, you got very excited. It is just speeding by and you just followed the BMW for as far as it went, as far as you could follow, because you are very excited with speed, you see. Speed is life at this age. Speed is meaning. So it just zoomed past and you got very excited and you saw it. Then you closed your eyes and started dreaming, daydream, that you are driving the BMW. That's your great dream, that one day you will own a BMW and you will be driving it. So you drive and go and you reach 300 kilometers per hour and you just enjoy your ride and you come back and the dream breaks, daydreaming breaks. Then you are again sitting and watching the road. You are unchanged. When the real BMW came, that is like a Jagrat state. You understand, your waking state. Through your senses, you are understanding, senses and mind, you are understanding what is happening. You got enamored by it, the same thing got translated into your daydream. That is your Swapna state, something similar to that. And where you were the owner of the BMW, you see, you spun your own world. And it was absolutely real to you, it had its effect on you. And then, when the dream also breaks, you are sitting quietly and watching the road. The you is persisting, you are there. You saw all these three things. Similar thing is happening in Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti. You are always present, these three states are passing over you. Now what Mandukya Upanishad is doing is, it is removing the I, isolating the I from these three states and telling you, since you pass through these three states, what does it mean? You are separate. The invariable is separate from the variables. You understand? This is how the Atman, which you are, passes through these three states and understands, at least it should be able to understand that it is the source of happiness. It lends happiness to this system, which lends happiness to objects, and then you superimpose that happiness on objects and start giving credit to the objects. The actual happiness came right from within you. Remember, the Atman is the source for happiness. That is what all the entire Vedanta is saying this. You are the source for happiness. It comes out also through your system. It was an error in your mind that you superimposed it on the object, gave all the credit to the object and kept on chasing the object all your life. So understand wo kaise isko logically how they are trying to prove this to you. Isn't it a very logical format, you tell me? They are not asking you to believe in it. Your own states of experience, three states of experience, are being analyzed. It is data available to you. If you think over this repeatedly, you will understand very clearly what they are saying. That which is the witness of these three states, Jagrat, Swapna and Sushupti, that which sees the mind rise and the mind block out, and that which is the very essence of your ego, that is the self. That is the Atman which you are. That is your very own nature. So happiness is your nature. If you so train your body and mind, that very happiness will come out of your own system. Then you can handle your life as you wish. This is the fundamental idea in the Vedanta. Consciousness is your very nature, because the Atman is of the nature of consciousness. Existence is your very nature and bliss is your very nature. Isi ko Satchidanand kehte hain. This is you. Don't think it is another objective reality to be worshipped outside of you. This is your real nature. And using this, you will be able to understand the very source of all your joy, the very source of meaning in life. And this is how the Mandukya Upanishad gives you in a, you see, this is the smallest Upanishad. You know, of all the Vedanta, kya cheez hai aapko pata hai na? Vedanta is the very essence of the Vedas, and it comes to you in the form of Upanishads, texts. One of these texts is Mandukya Upanishad, and that gives this analysis of the three states to prove to you the existence of the Atman and to prove to you where happiness comes from. Yes?
Ma'am, if self is the source of happiness, and we also say that aham is the source of all suffering.
हाँ, देखिए क्या डिफरेंस है अहम भाव में और सेल्फ में, आत्म वस्तु में और अहम में क्या डिफरेंस है? कैन यू टेल मी व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस? जस्ट नाउ जब हम अहम भाव कहते हैं, व्हाट वी मीन इज द ईगो. वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट द ईगो. द ईगो इज नथिंग बट अ शैडो ऑफ दैट सेल्फ. ईगो राइजेस इन द माइंड. It's a kind of vritti in the mind which declares I. It quickly identifies with the body and mind. What the Upanishad is telling you is, this ego is the shadow of the real thing. It represents something very real. The real thing is this Atman, which is a unit of pure consciousness shining within you, that lends consciousness to your mind, makes it conscious, and that is why your ego starts functioning. That lends consciousness to your body. That is why your body gets enlivened, that starts functioning, and you quickly identify with this body and mind, and you say that much only is me. But your real nature is that pure consciousness. So pay a little attention to this fact. This is the real you. बहुत सुंदर question and ask. You have asked. Yes.
Which is more self, I or me?
हाँ, very good. See, the pure I is the real you. What you are calling B just now is the I identified with this body-mind complex. समझ में आ रहा है आपको? It is the reflected light of pure consciousness. It first gets reflected in your mind, in your buddhi, and you start calling it I. You understand? And you function through that. But it's a reflection, remember, of something very substantial, something very real. The real you is the Atman. उसी को उपनिषद में आत्मन कहते हैं. आप सोच के देखो, इससे ज़्यादा can there be any topic more interesting than this? It's about you. It's dealing entirely about you. And so, for some time at least, dwell deeply on this fact. This is my real nature. When I say I mean the Atman. But what is happening is it gets reflected as the ego in the mind. It first gets reflected in the mind. And I start calling that reflection as I, the ego. That quickly identifies with the body and the mind and with the world of objects. So then I start thinking I'm an entity like this, with this particular name, with this particular qualification, with this particular position. So I identify with all of this. But your real nature is always pure consciousness, which is existence and bliss. So at least as a dharana, this must go into your mind. You understand, this is the source of your happiness and power and strength. Remember this. One day you will understand how vital, how important, how powerful this idea is. ये idea नहीं है. This is the actual truth about you. But just now at least it should become a very strong impression, a deep idea in your mind. So one day you will understand the truth about it. समझ में आया आपको? Whenever you are asking for happiness, you know what you are doing? You are knocking from inside. Rumi का एक बहुत सुंदर statement है. You might have heard of Jalaluddin Rumi. He was a Sufi mystic, a Persian poet in 13th century. He made this wonderful statement once. I knocked and the door opened and I realized I was knocking from within. I was knocking from inside. You are knocking from inside. When you ask for happiness, you are the very source of happiness. उसका realization नहीं हुआ है, इसलिए you don't know where to search for it. So you keep chasing. Where the senses are turned outward, you start searching in objects. इसीलिए योग वेदांत साधन पहले कैसे आरंभ होता है? Shut your eyes a bit, turn inward and see what is happening. At least the knowledge of this should be present in your mind. You understand? The experience of it may not have come, but you should know what they are trying to say. a very connected, an idea connected to this I will give you here, which is also very powerful. Pay attention, otherwise again you will miss it. The idea is this. ये idea आती है बृहदारण्यक उपनिषद में. It's a conversation between Yajnavalkya and Maitreyi. आपको पता है कौन थे Yajnavalkya and Maitreyi? Yajnavalkya was a great rishi, a jnani, a Brahma jnani, one who had known the supreme reality. And his wife was Maitreyi. When he was leaving home to go to the forest for austerity, for renunciation, he tells his wife, I leave all my wealth for you. Maitreyi was his wife. And she said, well, what will I do with this wealth? Will it get me immortality? He said, no. No chance of wealth getting immortality. Immortality आपको पता है? शाश्वत जीवन मुझे किससे मिलेगा? And he said, no, wealth will not get you that. Then she said, then I have no use of it. Tell me that which will make me immortal. This is what we are all asking for. Tell me that which will make me immortal. And then he gives out this teaching. It is very interesting. You just listen to the mantra and then I will explain it. He says, Nava are patyu kamaya pati priyo bhavati, atmanastu kamaya pati priyo bhavati. Nava are jayaye kamaya jaya priya bhavati, atmanastu kamaya jaya priya bhavati. Nava are sarvasya kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati, atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Which means anything is dear to you due to the presence of this Atman. Where this Atman is present, there will be happiness, there will be joy. That object becomes dear to you. The husband is not dear for the sake of the husband, but because the Atman is present there, the husband is dear. This is what he is saying. The wife is not dear for the sake of the wife, but because the Atman is present there, consciousness is present there, so that entity becomes dear. Everything is dear if consciousness is present there. If consciousness is absent, that thing will not become dear. Why do we fear death? Consciousness is absent. A person who is very dear, if that person dies, you lose connection. You don't like just the body. Why? Consciousness is absent. Are you seeing it? So what do you actually love? What is actually dear to you? Consciousness. उसी में अगर research ना हुआ हो, उसके संबंध में एक धारणा ना हुई हो, you have missed the essential point of life. Isn't it? So see how logically they are pointing out to you how to proceed. Anything becomes dear to you due to the presence of consciousness. That is the very source of your happiness. That is the Atman. That is why they say where you find the Atman, that thing becomes dear to you. Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. Wonderful idea. You see how kitna gabhir hai ye idea. It is a very deep idea. If you can internalize, think about at least 2-3 things like this, you see many things will become very clear in your life. You will know how to proceed. You will not invest your energies in the wrong things. आज हमने इस introduction में 3 things we learnt very importantly. First of all, your sense of I. Actually, it indicates what? It signifies what? It signifies the Atman within you, a unit of pure consciousness within you. And secondly, that is the source of all your happiness. That is the source of consciousness, that is existence, that is happiness. And wherever that Atman is present, wherever consciousness is present, you start loving that thing. You start loving that place. You start loving. क्यों हमें अच्छा लगता है natural scenery, temples? There's a kind of vibration there, a subtle, pure vibration of consciousness. That's why you start loving it. Why do you love small babies? They may do such stupid things. They can't even talk. Fresh consciousness coming into manifestation as life. So you love it. Just see this for yourself. Originally think about it. Where there is consciousness, there is life. So there is love, there is joy. समझ में आ रहा है? So you are the very source of happiness and consciousness. Don't make a mistake about this. At least जान कर रखना है किस तरफ जाना है. What I should be seeking for in life. Now let me go into another point here. Do you have any questions on that, on this Mandukya Upanishad which I just explained? It's a vital point. If you miss it, you have missed a vital understanding, I will tell you. Was it clear, the 3 states of experience which are your own states? How they drew drew out the witness from these three states? Because you are able to give your experience in the three states, you must be apart from the three states. And also, the source of your happiness, even when the mind shut down, you verily declared you slept happily, which means the source of your happiness is behind the mind. 2 points. And wherever this Atman is found, there you will find happiness. 3 points. Okay, clear to all of you? Now, yes?
Happiness is innateness.
Yes, it's innate within you. You see, this is the fundamental premise. You don't require too much thinking to come to this. Happiness actually lies within you. It streams out of you. Due to a delusion in your mind, you superimpose it on objects. And you start thinking that is responsible for my happiness. I am not saying objects will absolutely do not give you happiness. They may stimulate the happiness within you. That is their value. But the happiness streams out from within you.
What about ego?
Huh?
Ego.
What about ego? Okay, ego is actually, it's a part of your mind. When the Atman is not known, what you will be, it will be the ego. It is an identification of the reflected light of the consciousness of self with your buddhi. Not even your buddhi, with so many other things, with the contents of your mind. So, मैं ये हूँ, मैं वो हूँ, मैं ऐसा हूँ, मैं वैसा हूँ, यही ego का picture इतना ही होता है. It's a shadow of the real self. At least you must have some idea, clear idea about the self. Then you can function as the shadow. In the transactional world, you need a kind of ego to function. But you must know what it represents.
Consciousness of a person is an object for another person.
See, if you penetrate into consciousness, you will find consciousness, मेरा एक consciousness और आपका एक consciousness नहीं होता. Consciousness is never in the plural. There is only one consciousness manifesting in different bodies and minds. We are used to thinking of ourselves in terms of discrete entities, isn't it? I am I and you are you. हमें पता नहीं है I का मतलब क्या है, you का मतलब क्या है. We have never penetrated into the real I. If you penetrate into yourself truly, you will see you as awareness is the same as the other person as awareness. Because in awareness, दो awarenesses नहीं होते. एक ही चीज होती है. It is manifesting through different bodies and minds. So what will you become for me? You are me in another form. You understand? I will be you in another form. एक ऋषि, एक संत की दृष्टि ऐसी होती है. उसके लिए other नहीं रहता. The other person is me in another form. और एक only one person has this kind of drishti in your own life, and that is your mother. You know, आपकी माता की दृष्टि में आप अलग चीज नहीं हो, अलग entity नहीं हो. You are an extension of her. आप उसी के अंश हो. So a mother's drishti and a rishi's drishti, this is the similarity. That is why ये दोनों ही पूज्य हैं हमारे लिए. इनकी दृष्टि ऐसी होती है. Because of penetration into their own sense of I, they have realized the unity between themselves and others. You understand? So this is a very valuable teaching of the Upanishad. We will now go into, yes.
If I am conscious, assume if I am conscious, so why would I like to do external work in that state? Because in that state I know that this is a Brahm state or ideal state, something.
देखिए उसका realization आने तक, till you come to the realization of the Atman, you have to work. You have to employ this body and mind in order to do effective work in the world, to work your way towards the state of realization. It's not a matter of thinking. It's not a matter of just having a few concepts in your head. Realization ऐसी चीज़ है कि अगर एक बार वो उसका glimpse भी आ जाए आपके मन में, it will make you work all the more, because you see, what is the body and mind meant for? Tell me. If I say now, well, goal तो अंदर जाना है, आत्मा वस्तु लाभ है, so मैं कुछ नहीं करूँगा. You will only become lazy. Use your body and mind to work your way towards that goal. Because it is not a concept, it's not a thought. Thought can lead you to that. It's a state of pure being. और उसके लिए बहुत मेहनत लगती है. The more you do work in this world in an unselfish way, the more you clear your mind to go towards that state. समझ में आया? इसीलिए तो अपने काम को कर्म योग में कन्वर्ट करने की कोशिश करना. Not to give up work. You understand? If you give up work in your present condition, you will only go into laziness. You will destroy your life. इसलिए भाग जाने का तरीका नहीं है. This is not to mean, well, you give up something and run away somewhere in order to get self-realization. You will not get it that way. जो चीज़ है आपके अंदर ही है वो. Vivekananda used to say, each soul is potentially divine. The goal is to manifest the divinity within yourself. Do this either by work, worship, psychic control, philosophy, one or all of these, and reach the goal. This is the whole of religion.
Basically, हमें path follow करना है कि और बस path follow करना.
तो आपकी पढ़ाई जो है वो भी एक path है.
हाँ, वो एक चीज़ की जो हमें एक task मिला है वो particular task को बस enjoy करना है उस particular moment.
Correct.
और ये नहीं सोचना है कि उसका result क्या आएगा.
Correct, correct. Correct. Do it as unselfishly as possible. Aim at the highest and use whatever you are doing as a means towards that highest. This is the way.
यानी जो physically कुछ भी चीज़ें उनसे भी attach होके just normally.
Yes, don't get unduly attached to the wrong objects. ये चीज़ है. Okay, you must be careful. The result of this knowledge is you live purposefully in this world, meaningfully in this world. You are not carried away simply by somebody's emotions, by your own emotions, by wrong kind of thinking. You are not just carried away by that. Live carefully and aim at the highest. Now we will go into, देखिए, I introduce a Vedantic idea deliberately in every class so that it seeps into you. And then we will go practically into your everyday problems. हमारे syllabus में ये सब है. How are these ideas going to help you where you are situated just now? How is it going to help you in your mind management? How is it going to help you with all of this? We will go into this now. You see, today we are going to especially dwell on the causes for your unhappiness. अभी आपने सुना the source of your happiness, the cause for your happiness, how to go to that. Now, what are the everyday causes which are making you unhappy, which are diverting you from where you, the way you should be moving? Pay attention to this, and I will come to the question. 1 minute. Causes for unhappiness. आपका question उस पर है, उपनिषद पर है?
I was asking, like happiness is very much a part of Atman or mind.
Happiness belongs to the Atman. It is the nature of the Atman. It streams out through your mind. If the mind is dense, if the mind is wrongly conditioned, it will not allow that light to come out. So your mind also matters. समझ में आ रहा है? If the mind is clear enough, transparent enough, pure enough, the whole light will come out. You are always happy. Whether you have objects in your life or not, you will be happy. Whether you have people, the right people in your life or not, you will be happy. Because remember, happiness is the source of your own being. The goal of human life is to so train the human mechanism, the body-mind complex, that it will allow that light, that happiness to come out properly. इसका मतलब है mind पर work करना है. You understand? It's streaming out through the mind. Yes?
But if someone trains their mind so much that they actually feel so happy, then his question is very valid. Then why will we want to study, do
Yes,
work, do a PhD?
that is the level of realization. What I'm telling you is there's a difference between thinking and realization. Just now we are thinking about it. This itself is exciting you a lot. You are very happy about it. A very good sign. But don't think that is the realization. Realization एक spiritual experience होता है, आध्यात्मिक अनुभव होता है. उसको मिलने तक you cannot give up work. Nobody can give up work. So do your duty unselfishly and use it as a means to go towards that. समझ में आ रहा है? भाग जाने की बात मैं कभी नहीं करूँगी. कहीं से भाग नहीं जाना है. समझ में आया? But use whatever you are doing as a means to go towards your goals. Yes, yes.
Get that level of happiness.
Exactly, exactly. Use it like that. So let's go into now your causes for your unhappiness. The very first cause of your unhappiness is not knowing the cause for your happiness. Not knowing the source of your happiness. इसको कहते हैं existential sorrow. इसका मतलब है alienation of mind from the self. If you just see the content of your mind, अभी अभी आप देखो, whatever I am telling you is within your experience just now. अभी अभी आप देखो, if you do not have such a solid unchanging background behind your mind, how will you rely upon your mind? Your mind has all sorts of contents. Anytime it can lead you anywhere. All sorts of emotions are popping up. All sorts of negativities are there in the mind. Because there is this fact of the Atman shining behind your mind, you get the strength to overcome the wrong tendencies of the mind. Because you are actually the Atman functioning through this body-mind complex. Okay, so actually one of the main causes for your unhappiness is you have lost touch with this infinite nature within you, with the fact of your own existence. You have lost touch with that. This is called alienation of mind from the self. इसका परिणाम बहुत गहरा होता है. Don't take this lightly. If you have no self-knowledge, you are at the mercy of the objective world. समझ में आ रहा है? If you have no self-knowledge, you will not be stable within. Your mind, any kind of mood it generates, you will go to objects to change that mood. And objects are more changing than your mind. They are more temporary and they are transient. So you never get satisfied anywhere. This is the psychology of the restlessness that we feel. Constantly we are turning outward, alienating mind from self, not turning inward for anything, constantly only turning outward. And that is why many times spiritual knowledge appears like some form of theory, because we have not sufficiently gone within ourselves. समझ में आ रहा है? ये एक philosophy बन के खड़ी हो जाएगी आपके सामने अगर अपने ऊपर research ना करो. I told you existential inquiry is the key to unlocking Vedantic knowledge. If you don't apply it to yourself, it will remain a fantastic, beautiful theory, that's all. And if your mind is preoccupied only with your opinions, with the opinions of others, with things which you have not experienced maybe yourselves, your mind is dense with content which you have not yet realized. Such a mind will not open itself to truths like these, spiritual knowledge. So पहले mind पर work करना है. That is why mind management techniques are so important. There is a beautiful story here which I would like to tell you. एक बार एक professor आते हैं एक Zen master के पास. A professor came to a Zen master and told him, see, my mind is simply clouded. Give me the knowledge of Zen. And the Zen master said, please sit down and have tea with me. And he poured tea and the tea overflowed the cup. And it was going to overflow the saucer also. And then the professor said, stop, stop. It's overflowing. And then the Zen master said, this is the state of your mind. It's overflowing with your opinions and your concepts and your biases and your prejudices and the opinions of others and the thoughts of others and what you have read for so long. Unless you empty your mind to a certain extent, how will you understand Zen? Last class में मैंने आपको एक graph दिया था. Your happiness is proportional to your awareness. Awareness content, if it is very low in your mind, how will you understand spiritual knowledge or the source of happiness? इसीलिए on an everyday basis, learn on calming your mind, quieting your mind, regulating the tendencies of your mind, emptying your mind of unnecessary content, which means you expose yourself also to the right things in life. By giving yourself wrong exposures, you give yourself wrong content in the mind. देखो आप जब खाते हो, you choose your nutrition, your food so carefully, isn't it? अब देखना भी खाना होता है through the eyes, सुनना भी खाना होता है through the ears. It is food through the eyes, food through the ears. Shankaracharya says this, ahara shuddho sattva shuddhi. शुद्ध सत्व अगर चाहते हो तो अच्छा food लेना है, which means what you see, what you hear, what you expose yourself to should be very good. Good content will create good sanskars in the mind. So be careful. आज आपके हाथ में mobile phone है. Anything you can do in that. Determine what kind of a life you want. What kind of an achievement you want in your life. What do you want the direction of your life to be? Accordingly use these tools. Otherwise, this tool itself can ruin you. It can put you into very negative states of mind. समझ में आ रहा है आपको? So spiritual knowledge is one thing. Second thing is learning to live carefully. Learning to live with a lot of proper thinking. That is what spiritual knowledge is meant for. to regulate the thinking in your mind, to give you a deep insight into the deeper aspects of life. You know, recently I was reading a report in which it was given that the average American looks at his mobile phone once in every 15 minutes. अब इसका नतीजा क्या होता है आपको पता है? आप भी ये कर रहे होंगे. Maybe not you, but some students might be doing it. You know the result of this, what happens? First of all, there's the electromagnetic radiation exposure. Second is this constant flitting of your attention. So chances of ADHD. ADHD सुना है? Attention deficit disorder. This can become a possibility due to this level of flitting of attention. Then constantly seeing, getting emotionally involved with so many objects all together at once, it releases cortisol in your brain. Do you know that? Effects of cortisol we will be studying. So your brain is not meant to function with so much of very continuous, constant input, which it can't even process. It has no time to process, no time to think correctly, just getting into you, getting into your system. So this level of exposure you are giving yourself, this has cumulative effect over time. And you know what your social media networks are? You see, I am not discouraging technology. Please know this. I never discourage science, technology. We are never against development. Development should be there. Only your instruments should work under you. They should not, you should not be working under them. You must use them to build your life, to build your intelligence. But don't succumb to them. Don't use them as tools for distraction. Don't allow them to rule over you and destroy your life. This is what I mean. Social media networks today, they are actually short-term dopamine-driven feedback loops. Constant like and dislike. If you function in this mode, your brain will not be able to take it after some time. You go into frustration and depression. You must know how to handle social media. Do you need this level of communication at all? Communication wahan hona chahiye when there is something to communicate, something substantial, something effective, something important. नहीं तो क्या ज़रूरत है communicate this level of communication. Every 5 minutes, 15 minutes, if you are sending out messages which have no meaning. So don't indulge at this level. ये सब अभी से ठीक कर लो, your mind will remain in very stable states. You will see. Your mind is meant to remain very stable, very calm, so that the right knowledge you are able to acquire, so that you focus on the right things in life, you lead a purposeful, meaningful life. You understand? So use your tools like that. They are tools for you, nothing more. They should not become your life itself. So this is one thing. How in your everyday life you can remove the unhappiness of your mind. Another thing is, देखिए ये बहुत important चीज़ है, आपको attention देना पड़ेगा इसमें फिर से. In 1943, a marvelous paper was presented by an American psychologist called Abraham Maslow in a conference. The paper was called A Theory of Human Motivation. This is to do with the hierarchy of human needs, and the psychologist was Abraham Maslow. It's a very interesting thing. This is where, Rahulji, I need the PPT. Huh? I would like to show them that hierarchy of human needs. Did you see this? This is the hierarchy of human needs given out by Abraham Maslow. It's a pyramid. See this. Now, you observe it closely, how he has created the pyramid. At the base of the pyramid are biological and physiological needs of the human being. Like what you need, roti, kapda or makan basically. You need air, water, you need food, you need shelter, all this. Then, beyond this, at the next rung of the pyramid is safety needs. You need protection, security, law, order, stability, obviously, isn't it? Now what happens is, when the first level of needs is satisfied, the mind naturally moves to the second level. Are you understanding this? When the second level is satisfied, it naturally moves to the third level. What's the third level? It is belonging and love needs, which means everybody needs emotional security, affection, family, relationships. That's the third level of the pyramid. After this are esteem needs. Somewhere where your ego can positively relate, help you build your personality structure. You see, achievement, status, responsibility, reputation, all this is the fourth rung of the pyramid. the fourth level. Beyond this, at the apex is self-actualization. इसके बारे में आपको चिंतन करना है. Self-actualization, actually he meant personal growth and fulfillment. Where exactly do I get fulfillment? What exactly does fulfillment mean? उनको जब पूछा गया, when Abraham Maslow was asked, what do you mean by self-actualization? He said, what a man can be, he must be. आपको ये समझ में आ रहा है? What a man can be, he must be. If you don't rise to your full potential, if you don't rise to your full stature, you will not be happy. आपके अंदर great potential है, आपके अंदर इतनी सारी capacities है. If they don't unfold to the maximum extent, if you don't realize your own real nature, your own divinity, you will not be happy. This is what he is saying. इसी को विवेकानंद ने बहुत briefly कहा था, each soul is potentially divine, the goal is to manifest the divinity within. Self-actualization, self-fulfillment means this, finding where exactly you get complete satisfaction, rising to that stature, going, this is also like a ladder, you see, one after the other you go up, finding where the real fulfillment of life lies. So this is the hierarchy of human needs. If you remain stuck at one level and try to maximize happiness there, again it won't work. So you see, this is the importance of understanding the hierarchy of human needs. Keep this picture in your mind and understand this, that the mind will naturally move to the next level. At some point of time, you will be thinking of self-actualization and self-fulfillment. इसके बारे में सिर्फ सोचना नहीं है, करने की बात है. You will understand that it is by doing things for others that you feel more fulfilled. It is by keeping goals other than personal that you feel more fulfilled. It is by going towards self-realization that you feel more fulfilled. So this understanding will naturally come. Another thing which you can notice here, which he didn't mention but you can notice it here, is the more you climb this rung, the less you require external factors to keep you balanced and happy. As you move towards the apex of the pyramid, the happiness actually comes out of yourself. The need is fulfilled from within yourself. So this is another important point you can understand from this pyramid. So this is how he has given us an important model of how to proceed in life, what human needs are, what the apex need is, how to proceed. Yes?
What happens if one of the needs, in suppose I am at some level and one of the needs at the base level or the level below gets taken away from me? Will I be going down or will I be somewhere in between, revolving in both the levels?
Yeah, very good. You see, the need for something is felt when you have invested considerable amount of yourself in that. Suppose it's a family relationship, suppose it is your job, you have invested a lot of yourself, what you call yourself just now, into that, then that object or that person becomes a need, starts becoming a need for you. Now, if that person is taken away or if that job is taken away, whatever it is, it could be just an event, whatever it is, you must have the capacity to withdraw your energy back into yourself. Then only you remain balanced. इसी को stability कहते हैं. You understand, you had invested a considerable amount of your energy into that person, into that event. You must be able to bounce back and not actually go into depression at that stage. इसीलिए you need subjective knowledge, an idea of the subject, how to control my mind. Why is it that this thing has become important for me? This person has become important for me. Why has this relationship become important to me? If I don't know myself, if I don't know how my own system functions, I will always be at the mercy of objects. And I'm telling you, they keep changing. कुछ भी permanent नहीं है जीवन में, है ना? What is actually only thing permanent? The fact of your existence, which is what is called God. You see, ये जो आत्मा वस्तु है, उसी को उसका cosmic aspect Brahman, God. That is what is meant by God. So some knowledge of this should be there within you. Then you will know that at any point if something changes in my life, I can still bounce back. I can remain stable. Otherwise, you know, the vast changes in life can drive you insane. है ना? जीवन का तरीका ही वैसा है. It will keep changing. Everything will keep changing. Everything is kshanika. In the midst of all this, you have to maintain your stability, your sanity, your balance. your ability to survive all this positively and yet contribute effectively towards society. So for that you must be stable yourself first. समझ में आ रहा है? Don't invest your entire everything of yours into anything without getting knowledge of yourself first. ये balance हमारे life में, and this is what is called maturity in life. No matter what circumstances change around me, I remain stable enough. For that, mind training is required. Otherwise, you will succumb to everything, every change. You understand? So, okay, now once you have understood this pyramid, the next thing which we are going to go on to is the neuroscience of it. Every class, this is what we will be doing. So, in neuroscience, the neuroscience of unhappiness also you should know. Stress, it has definite neurochemical correlates in your system. You know, actually speaking, the amygdala portion of the brain, that is supposed to be where fear is generated. That starts firing neurons whenever a fear episode is there. Cortisol, adrenaline, all these are responsible for your stress in some measure. And we will be studying that also, HPA axis for stress and your relaxation and response. So how does it work in your own nervous system? And also there are happy chemicals released. You know, whenever you are in happy states of mind, they have found neurochemicals, definite neurochemicals are released. You will be happy to know these chemicals. Meet your happy chemicals. Dopamine, serotonin, oxytocin, endorphin. But remember one thing, ये चीज़ बहुत अच्छी लगती है कि oh, these are neurochemicals being released in my system when I'm happy. But when you are unhappy, if you give yourself a good injection of these, don't think you can become happy. This is the difference between a first person experience, a first person methodology and a third person knowledge. You understand? This is the difference. There's a wide chasm. Just by indulging in drugs or injecting these chemicals into my system, I don't become happy. So understand, happiness is a subjective something. You have to manufacture it by yourself, by training your mind, by training your senses, by, as I told you, allowing the inner joy to come out through your system. You cannot waive that and depend only on this. If you start thinking that, no, these things, these chemicals can give me happiness, you will actually become, what will you become? आप drugs में चले जाओगे. If you invest all your intelligence, actually drugs can hijack your intelligence, you know. You put all your intelligence into something material, try to get your happiness out of that, you will become an addict to that, and that will ruin your life. We will go into the neurophysiology of addiction. You will see how terrible, what terrible state you can reduce yourself to if you are not careful. ये problem है amongst youth, so I will be going a little into that. Addiction, do you know how it is defined?
Reduce our level of happiness.
Wrong understanding of happiness is addiction. It is called a hedonic dysfunction. Addiction definition is it's a hedonic dysfunction, which means you understand happiness wrongly and it adversely affects your choices in life by your wrong understanding. So if understanding is wrong, you know, buddhi nashat pranashyati, it comes in the Gita. If your understanding is wrong, only God can save you, nobody else. So correct your understanding. Yes?
What do you mean by wrong understanding of happiness?
Wrong understanding of happiness means you have, it's an error in your thinking that happiness is coming from something where it does not lie. It's an error in your thinking. Just I will show you in this addiction slide. I will show you how you can invest your all your thinking, your mind, your capabilities, everything into the wrong objects. We will come to that, you see. Now the primary dysfunction of addiction is caused due to stress. Do you know? Especially children who have suffered, it's called early childhood traumas, early age traumas. Many children suffer such things, and due to that there is such a stress in their brains that they succumb to pleasure constantly. The brain gets hardwired towards dopamine release, And these are the people who usually become addicts. So that is why it is so very important to have a healthy childhood, have a healthy society, to be responsible in whatever we do. So how exactly this addiction works, I would like to show it to you here, you see. Neurophysiology of addiction is what we are going to study. First of all, due to addiction, what are the parts of it? It will shatter your nervous system and brain. Remember, addiction. These are the parts which are affected. First of all is the orbitofrontal cortex, OFC what is called. Part of your prefrontal cortex. You know, that is the place where all your joys, your happiness, all this is analyzed. That starts functioning wrongly. You see what happens? It gives things value, your PFC. That valuation decides choice. This is affected in addiction. Which means your valuation has gone haywire. Your choices will be wrong. इसीलिए आप drugs में जाते हो. So understand this, how gradually it will ruin your brain and nervous system. You just see this. The next thing affected is anterior cingulate cortex. It is where you see yourself through the eyes of others. When this is affected, when this fails, you become socially atrocious. Which means you never see yourself from the eyes of others. You understand? Socially atrocious means actually terrible. There is nothing that can control you. So gradually you have to recalibrate your social cognition. It's an uphill effort. Once you succumb to drugs or alcohol or such things, it's a real uphill task to build your life. It will shatter your nervous system, as I'm telling you. Isliye understand this and create the block just now. Never should this happen in our lives. It should never come into my life. Create the block. There are certain things in life not to be experimented with. Make this very clear to your head and never go into this. No matter what episode of depression you have, what frustration you have in life, never go to this level. Look at the third thing it affects, insular cortex. This is what brings body consciousness into your system. When it is affected, you are just beyond values. You never give importance to your body nor to the bodies of others. Psychopaths, serial killers, this is the problem they suffer from. Then dopamine cascade within you. Addicts have problem assessing future risk due to this. They are constantly on drugs which are releasing dopamine. So they remain in a drunkard kind of state and they are not able to assess any kind of risk. That's why they are not careful about their choices, they are not careful about their valuations, they can just go into anything. Then the last factor is epigenetics, how genes give you vulnerabilities. It is supposed to be responsible for how people react to drugs. It takes more beer to get you drunk if it is not in your genes. You understand the concept? Think over it a little and you will understand it. Agar ek baar, you see what you think intensely about, what becomes part of your nature and your sanskar, you know it leaves an impact right up to your genes. Ye concept Upanishad mein bhi hai. That is why they say that a knower of Brahman, there is nobody who is born in his family who is not a knower of Brahman for 7 generations. Kyun? Wo genes tak chala jata hai. Knowledge is so powerful. What you make your own knowledge, it will have its impact right up to the genetic level. So you see, you are not hardwired for suffering. You can change it at any moment of time with effort. Samajh mein aa raha hai? So understand here, what they are telling you is, it will go right up to your genes. That's why I'm telling you, close this aspect of negativity. Close it completely in your life. Never go into this aspect. An absolutely clean life is required for you to build up your character, for you to go towards your higher goals in life. Commit yourself to higher living. एक शुद्ध सात्विक जीवन अगर ऐसा आप adopt करो consciously, आप देखोगे your life will be flooded with happiness. And if you succumb to these nonsensical things, you will ruin at least a few decades of your life. You can't bounce back so easily. So shut the gate to this completely. Now let us go to a few more causes for unhappiness. ये एक चीज़ है, आपको समझ में आ गया? Now another cause for unhappiness, you see in Indian philosophy, they deal with, we are also going to the philosophical aspects. वो कहते हैं कि आप जैसे न्यूरो सर्क्यूट्स क्रिएट करते हो, which means your sanskars, that is going to decide your level of happiness. The kind of neurocircuits you form. जब आप last class I showed you the connection between thought and tendency, vritti and sanskar. If you keep on thinking some particular things, you are going to create the traits about that. The tendencies to do those things. So these are the neurocircuits actually forming in your brain. You form your neurocircuits through your thinking. So if you are able to maintain the right sanskars, think the right things, you will have very positive neurocircuits. Otherwise, you will succumb to fear, anxiety, all kinds of negative emotions, anger, greed, and you will constantly, all your energy will go in solving all unnecessary problems. The energy, if it is put at a certain level, it can take you higher. Otherwise, it will keep, whirlpooling right at all these silly problems in your life. Too much anger, you created a horrible situation, then you worked at solving that situation. Too much of greed, unnecessary, and you ruin your life. You don't know what to aim at. So all these problems can happen due to wrong neurocircuitry, wrong sanskars. Another thing which our scriptures tell you is kleshas, they are called. There are certain things which can produce unhappiness in your life. Look at this. This is a tree of kleshas. This comes again in the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. यहाँ पर क्या कहते हैं? अविद्या जो है, वो that is the root of this tree. अविद्या का मतलब क्या है? You see, it's a very scientific concept. It means ignorance of your true nature, alienation of mind from self. What I told you, you don't know who you truly are. You don't know where your happiness lies. You don't know how you are functioning. That is the root of the whole problem. What does it lead to? It leads to asmita. That is the klesha which identifies you immediately with your states of mind, with your mind, with the reflected consciousness in your mind. Asmi, asmi, a sense of I-ness, not as a reflection of the true being that you are, but attached to, ये जो ego हम कहते हैं ना, attached to this, attached to that, attached to your possessions, attached to your anger, attached to your emotions, not willing to change all that. So this is how the ego functions. Asmita refers to that, clinging to something which is not actually you. The next is rag and dvesh. आपको ये पता होगा, which means an attachment based on this wrong identification of yourself, based on the wrong I. इसका मतलब है ये चीज़ मुझे आनंद देगी, वो चीज़ मुझे आनंद देगी. You actually don't know where your happiness lies, where your balance lies. You are constantly investing your own personality in all sorts of objects around you. It leads to attachment, unnecessary attachment and unnecessary aversions, rag, dvesh, and abhinivesh, which means clinging to life, fear of death, but you don't know what life and death means. If you don't have knowledge of consciousness, Atman, how will you know what life means? What death means? How will you know? समझ में आ रहा है? So these are all kleshas in Patanjali Yoga Sutras. These bind your mind and produce very unhappy states. We live under this constant fear, isn't it? Fear. There's a existential fear of death. There's an existential fear of being criticized, of losing your position, losing your status, losing this, losing that, all based on these kleshas. If you study your own psychology, you will see how true all this is. What is the way to get out of it? वो जो यम और नियम हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किए थे, simple moral disciplines, a little bit of austerity, some amount of self-study, tapas, swadhyaya, ishwar pranidhan, raising your emotions to the level of devotion to God. If all these things you can practice, simple techniques, clean ways of living, commitment to truth, commitment to a sattvic way of life, simple techniques, if you practice this, you will be removed from these kleshas. They will keep their distance from you. The basic problem is avidya, ignorance about your true nature, ignorance about how your mind is functioning. So understand how the whole thing is. Get rid of avidya, you will get rid of these kleshas. One more thing, important thing which you need to know here is, you see the core causes of your grief. They are all subjective mainly. You see ADD, attention deficit disorder, the symptoms are distraction of attention, treatment is symptomatic tranquilizers, the actual cause is uncontrolled exposure. The cause is you. And the solution, that's why, should be a goal-oriented and focused life. You see how true this is. If the problem is depression, the symptoms are no sustained interest in anything, the treatment will be antidepressants, but the actual cause for that is ego-centeredness. Locking yourself into your little I. And that's why the solution actually will be service, yoga, creativity, learning something new, all this. Just symptomatic cures will not work. Let us go to collective problems also, like corruption, say. The symptoms are exploitation at every level, the treatment given is punishment, the actual cause is selfishness and greed. You see, again, subjective cause. मैं आपको बोल रही हूँ ना, this is the Indian way of understanding things. Finding the causes for objective effects in the subject. Finding subjective causes. The actual problem is selfishness and greed in human beings. How will you address that? Through social responsibility. Go and do service, you will solve all these problems. You learn to integrate others into yourself. You see yourself in others. You will develop empathy. It will remove corruption from your mind. Crime, deviancy in behavior. The actual treatment given for this is again punishment and counseling, but the cause is lust, anger and pride, isn't it? ये भी हमारे अंदर है, मन के अंदर होते हैं ये problems. You know, all these are parts of your mind. You must remove it from the mind. Again, service outreach activities will purify your mind. It will remove these problems from your mind. Environmental degradation. The symptoms are pollution. The treatment given is awareness. What will just being aware about environmental degradation do? The actual problem is consumerism and greed, again inbuilt in the mind. This tendency to take everything for oneself, exploit nature in order to remain joyful oneself. So again the remedy will be ek yagnya bhav, ek service attitude. Doing things for others will naturally bring your mind into a state of non-exploitation, not exploiting the environment. It will stop environmental degradation. So you see the essential change is in the mind of man. This is what I am telling you. If you change your mind, you change your states of grief. You will change the unhappiness will not come into your life. The next thing which you should know is how your actions lead to either good effects or bad effects and your happiness and unhappiness. Your action, you see, whenever you perform action, बहुत important चीज़ है ये कर्म जो हम कहते हैं. हमारा कर्म जो होता है, you know the common law of karma, what you sow that you reap. If you sow good things, you will reap good things. If you do not sow the right stuff, what you are going to sow, you are going to reap. एक action जब आप perform करते हो, what are the effects? You see, suppose you helped a friend. Let us take this example. You helped a friend. पहला effect external होता है. Your friend did very well in his exams. This is an external first effect. The second effect is आपका helpfulness, आपका kindness, the generosity which you showed created a strong positive sanskar in your mind. ये आपका gain हुआ. This is the second internal effect. The third effect is, which you cannot see, when you are in need of help, help will come to you. This is called karma phal, karma shay. It's a cosmic effect which you cannot see. आप पूछो मत ये कैसे होता है, लेकिन ये होता है. When you are in need of help, help will come to you. This is the third effect of karma. So any action performed, if you perform good action, good will come into your life. If your action is not good, you can expect only bad to come into your life. And this is the karma chakra which I have put there. How action leads to sanskar. Sanskar leads to, the impression leads to habits. Habits lead to character. Your character creates your destiny. समझ में आ रहा है? That is why sow a thought and you reap a deed. Sow a deed and you reap a habit. Sow habit, you reap character. Sow character and you reap your destiny. ऐसा मत कहो कि well fate will decide what will happen in my life. I will decide what will happen in my life through my karma, through my action. My action will be such always, it will only bring benefit to others. And you can be assured of getting all benefit yourself. This is the law. समझ में आ रहा है? Is a very strong moral law, one of the pillars of, you can say, religion. Any religion will tell you this. कि अच्छा काम करोगे तो अच्छा फल आपको प्राप्त होगा. This is how it works. So this is one of another cause for your how to get happiness. Then one more cause for your unhappiness. You see, I will make you understand very briefly, quickly. Knowing what to do but not being able to do it. Have you felt this situation, this helpless situation? I know what to do but I'm not able to do it. आपने कभी महसूस किया है ये होता है अक्सर. मुझे पता है क्या करना चाहिए, आई एम नॉट एबल टू डू इट. आपको पता है इसका एग्जाम्पल महाभारत में है, स्वयं दुर्योधन के जीवन में. क्या when the Mahabharat war was going to start, that time this Bhishma Dev, he told Duryodhan, I had told you, you take the path of dharma and this will not happen. This war you could have evaded, but you did not listen to me. I told you, stick to dharma. And then Duryodhan said, Janami dharmam, nacha me pravrittim. Janami adharmam, nacha me nivrittim. I know what is dharma. I am not able to do it. मुझे प्रवृत्ति नहीं है धर्म के प्रति. This is our problem. See it, identify it. I know what is to be done, I am not able to do it. I know what should not be done, I can't desist from it. दुर्योधन का problem है हमारा. So how to change this state of affairs? You must fix your will on what is right and good. इसी उम्र में अगर इसमें compromise करो, you will never know which direction your life will go. Be strong about this. You are perfectly capable of it. Fix your will on high values in life. Fix your will on a great goal in life and move towards that. Then whatever your emotion says, whatever your mind says, whatever anybody's opinion says, it becomes secondary. Your will take you towards your goals in life. अगर ये will ही ना हो, focused, goal-oriented life ना हो, you never know where you will end up. So this is the way to overcome these problems. Another thing is the understanding the perils of uncontrolled thought. Do you realize it? कभी-कभी मन में ये होता है कि I just can't stop thinking. And thinking is going on automatically. Not that you are thinking, है ना? अपने आप होता जा रहा है. This is another cause for your unhappiness. You are not able to stop. Where to stop? अगर stop हो जाए किसी समय तो डर लगता है. अरे क्या हो रहा है? Why this situation? A little meditation and it will help you understand your thoughts are external to your being. You can perfectly control your thoughts. If you are not able to control your thoughts, it's a perilous situation. समझ में आ रहा है ये? This is one of the causes for your unhappiness. There is a very funny story regarding this. You know, one man suddenly found himself under a wish fulfilling tree, जो कल्पतरु कहते हैं ना, वो कल्पतरु था वहाँ पर और वो बैठ गया उसके नीचे. उसको पता नहीं था this is a wish fulfilling tree. And he started thinking, oh, I am so tired, I wish I had water. And water suddenly came there. He drank the water and I thought a good place to sit would have been very comfortable. And suddenly a throne came up there. And he got a nice place to sit. ये wish fulfilling tree क्या है? आपका मन है. Then he thought, if I had some good food, and food appeared. And he had the food, then he wanted some entertainment appeared, everything appeared as he wanted. And then suddenly he thought, what if a tiger comes now? All that I'm thinking is happening. Suppose a tiger comes, and a tiger came and gobbled him up. आपका मन ऐसा है, whatever you think intensely will become a reality in your life, because thought, action in its infancy is called thought. आज जो आप think कर रहे हो, कल वो आपके life में action में परिणत होगा. If today you don't think rightly, tomorrow how will you do things rightly? Do what is right. How will you do it? So perils of uncontrolled thought, आप कल्पतरु के नीचे ही बैठे हो. Your mind is that kalpataru. So train your mind to think correctly. Otherwise the tiger will come and gulp you. So what are Yoga Vedanta doing for you? They are analyzing your situation perfectly. They are actually giving you the testable prospect of first person methodologies. How to change yourself. By understanding the ground of your consciousness, the dynamics of your consciousness in the form of thoughts and emotions, and how to change them, how to regulate them, how to keep them under your control, and the unfoldment of consciousness at different levels of your personality. This is what first person methodology, testable concept, this is what they are giving you. If you change the subject, you get power over the object. I told you, na? last class, change the subject, you will see you will be in charge of the situation, any situation. So you can change it as you wish. If you have not researched into the subject, this portion is sort of cut out of your life. You are at the mercy of every object, every person, everybody's emotion, this and that. Your life will just pass by you. You won't realize kya ho raha hai. So this is how subjective knowledge actually helps you. So today we discussed some very important points. I will quickly summarize. If you have questions, ask me at this point. Do you have questions based on what we discussed? Let me summarize it for you. First of all, we discussed who you are actually, how the Upanishad points out to the reality of yourself by analyzing the 3 states of your own existence. Since you are giving data about the 3 states, you are apart from the 3 states. You are the Atman who was the witness of the waking state. That's why you have a record of the data of the waking state. You are the witness of the dream state. That's why you know what you dreamt. And you are also the witness of the deep sleep state, because you say you slept happily and there was no experience in that state, there was no experience of any object. So since you have been able to give this data, you are apart from the 3 states. You are the Atman which passed through these 3 states, or you can say the states passed over you. You are apart. You are neither the waker, nor the dreamer, nor the deep sleeper. You are always the witness of the states of your mind. ये कितना powerful idea है आप देखो. You are the witness of the states of your mind. You are not at the mercy of the states of your mind, nor at the mercy of the states of somebody's mind. And the second important idea which this Upanishad gave you was the source of your happiness is right within yourself. Because even when the mind was shut down, you declared your happiness. You declared your sense of peace and restfulness. So you are that source. Tap your knowledge, your consciousness, your freedom, your happiness right from within yourself. Vivekananda ye hamesha kehte the that everything exists right within you. You can do anything and everything. Call upon the sleeping soul and see how it awakens. Knowledge will come, goodness will come, purity will come, everything that is excellent will come once the soul is aroused to self-conscious activity. अगर ये आत्मज्ञान ना हो, तो really you are at the mercy of your mind and the mercy of objects around you. So this is one important thing which we learned. Then we learned every object which is dear to you, it is dear because of the presence of consciousness. है ना? So actually what do you love? You love consciousness. इसीलिए तो भक्ति शास्त्रों में कहते हैं you actually only love God. That is their way of putting it. Wherever there is the manifestation of consciousness, greater and greater consciousness, you will start loving that. Whatever, that situation, that being, that person, that quality, you will start loving it. So this is one of a very important equation of love. Please understand this. Where there is consciousness, there will be love. Then you understood how if the mind is not trained to go towards this self, you lose a huge chunk of happiness in your life. If it has no knowledge of this self, if it is alienated from this knowledge, you have this tendency to become, to move towards negativities. The lesser the awareness, the more the confusion of the mind will prevail. The more the awareness, the lesser the confusion will be in the mind. Happiness is proportional to awareness. You saw that in the graph also. So, alienation of mind from self, at least आप में नहीं होना चाहिए, जो योग वेदांत में penetrate करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो. Then you learn the causes, normal causes for your unhappiness. What are the main causes due to wrong management of mind, the powers of your mind? You invested it in your things which you need not have given attention to, so it led to attention deficit. You did not know how to control your will. That is why it led to just life going by, that's all. And you did not mind it. Then avidya, that is kleshas existing in your mind. This is one of the main causes for unhappiness. Not understanding your real nature is the cause for unhappiness. Wrong karma, bad actions are causes for unhappiness. Not being able to control your own thought process, the perils of uncontrolled thought. This is one of the main causes of your unhappiness. knowing what to do and not being able to do it. This is another major cause for your unhappiness. So what does all this show? Can you tell me? Everything is in your hands. You are the creator of your own destiny. If you train your mind, if you use Atma Vidya, you will get Atma Bal. You will know how to handle your own faculties. If this training has not occurred, don't think you can do anything with objects around you. It is not possible. If the instrument is not trained, the instrument of your perception, the instrument of interaction is not trained, don't think you will get the results you want. So इसीलिए ये विद्या इतनी important है. The more you invest in self-knowledge, remember this, self-knowledge is not a matter of choice. I can do it, नहीं करने से भी हो जाएगा. जो नहीं करते हैं, जो इस विद्या को प्राप्त करने की कोशिश नहीं करते हैं, they fall into trouble without knowing it. They will not know the cause for the trouble. They will not be able to identify the solution to the trouble. So understand at this very level the importance of this knowledge. If you can get this knowledge into your hands, you are in control, charge of your faculties. ऐसे control equipment के साथ आप जो कुछ करो, you will be successful. This is the secret of success. Because the subject is interacting with the object always. Isn't it? In the objective world, क्या हो रहा है? The subject is interacting with the object. Knowledge of the subject will give you power over the object. Power to change situations around you. Power to take the right decisions. Power to function towards higher ideals. Power to influence and change others around you. Without this knowledge, this major aspect will be lacking in your life. इसीलिए don't take this as a matter of choice. आज क्लास में पढ़ रहे हैं, सुन के रखेंगे, ऐसा नहीं. थोड़ा इस पर काम करना है. जो आपको assignments दे जाएंगे उसको कीजिए. Submit your reports. तत्पर रहिए इसमें. And some amount of this Atma Vidya, try to bring it into your life. Through meditation. You see, one of your assignments is meditation. Are you doing it? Yes. Don't leave it out. It will bring your thought process under control. It will distance you from your thought. तो ये कितना बड़ा gain हुआ आपके लाइफ में. छोटी छोटे techniques दिए गए हैं. We have actually thought over these techniques and then it has been given to you. So apply your mind to it. Application of mind is most important. It will change your sanskars, change your nature. इसका gain आपको बहुत महीनों के बाद, वर्षों के बाद ही पता चलेगा. You see, all long-lasting happiness is like that. It's not immediate, but you will understand its effect on you after some time, and you will thank this knowledge. So today's session we will end here. Have you any questions on this? Yes.
Ma'am, going back to the example of the sleep, but there are instances when we actually feel that I slept just now and I just woke up. So in that case, does the Atman also relax or?
You see, it's a good question she has asked. In sleep, you see, time, space and causation are inbuilt in your mind. Because the mind has shut down, you lose the sense of time in sleep. आप जब सोते हो, 2 घंटे सोए हो या 4 घंटे सोए हो या 6 hours सोए हो, आपको पता नहीं चलता. Isn't it? You do not know. You have to get up and see the alarm clock in order to know how long you have slept. You have gone beyond time. Why? Your mind has shut down. Time, space and causation are inbuilt parameters in your mind. So now what she's asking is, what exactly happens to the Atman? The Atman is of the nature of pure consciousness or awareness that is always awake, always present, always shining. You are that. You are functioning through the mind. That is the equipment given for you to function. When that shut down, that is why the sense of haziness. You do not know, you didn't experience anything you say in deep sleep. You didn't experience any object because the instrument of perception has shut down. But awareness is always there because you recorded that you did not experience any object. Who recorded that? है ना? कितना deep point है ये आप सोचो. आपके ही जीवन में रोज हो रहा है. The fact that you did not encounter any object in deep sleep, who recorded that fact? You were present to see the mind functioning. You were present to see the mind stop functioning. The mind shut down. You were present as the Atman, as awareness. अभी आपको पता नहीं चल रहा, but you were present.
And you were present to even understand that, okay, I did not realize that 8 hours passed, but I actually felt that it was just an hour or something.
Very good. You are the Sakshi of everything. This is the definition of the Atman. Yes.
What is the difference between sleep and death?
Sleep and death. See, in sleep the mind has temporarily shut down. It's going to bloom up again. Death is a totally different thing. Death mein kya hota hai? The body falls. The rest of you continues. You know what are you? You are body plus mind plus Atman. Hai na? Well, to understand in this way, you are a combination of all of this. Now, death is nothing but the separation of what is called the Sukshma Sharir, the mind and consciousness from your physical body. Separation. So the body falls, the rest of you continues. आपके जो impressions हैं, संस्कार हैं, habits हैं, everything is going to continue. इसीलिए suicide is never a solution to solving life's problems. Please understand this. मुझे बहुत दुख हुआ ये सुन के कि यहाँ भी suicides होते हैं. How can you think that ending your body will end your problem? The problem is in your mind. First of all, localize the problem, see where it is. Your mind continues even after death. Remember this, Sukshma Sharir ka matlab hai mind. Mind and consciousness. That continues even if the body falls. So you, the actual you are continuing. सिर्फ शरीर जैसे you know भगवद गीता में बहुत सुंदर illustration है वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णानि नरोपराणि. As you change clothes, so you change bodies. You are never just the body. You are wearing a body as you are wearing a piece of cloth. You are animating the body from within. And you are identifying with the body and calling it me. But you are always separate from the body. You are the Sakshi of the states of your mind, of the body, of the world of objects. So what happens in death is just the real you, the mind and the consciousness gets separated from the physical body. The physical body falls. So sleep, deep sleep is different from death. समझ में आ रहा है difference? Yes.
Is conscience a part of mind or a part of Atman?
Consciousness gets reflected in your mind and so you get this sense of I. It's reflected awareness in the mind.
And conscience, where
Oh, conscience. Conscience is the sense of right and wrong which is inbuilt in your mind. That is what you call conscience. It functions again due to the light of awareness coming from the Atman. The sense of right and wrong according to your sanskars. You see, your sense of right and wrong, your valuation, it is inbuilt according to your sanskars in your mind. समझ में आया? It's a kind of relative concept, but don't think, well, there is only one absolute thing which is consciousness. The rest is relative compared to that. But you must have a deep sense of right and wrong so that you make the right choices in life. वो choice करता है उसी को conscience कहते हैं. You do something wrong, your conscience will prick, isn't it? So you regulate the working of your conscience through your sanskars. आपके संस्कार जैसे बने हैं, accordingly your conscience it will tell you this is the right thing to do, this is the wrong thing to do. Now all this gets affected when you go into negativities like drug addiction and all this, alcohol, drug addiction. It affects your brain in such a way, even the conscience is blocked out. So the sense of right and wrong goes out. So be careful about this. Build all this in your life consciously. The whole thing is अपने life जीवन को अपने हाथों में लेना है ना? This freedom, this independence you must manufacture. That is the purpose of courses like this. अपने जीवन को अपने हाथों में लेना है, अपने decisions को अपने हाथों में लेना है. Work on yourself, work on your mind, and you will be able to do this.
When you showed that this addiction causes changes in orbitofrontal cortex,
Yes.
anterior cingulate cortex, and insular cortex.
Yes.
Now it could be the other way around also, that someone, because of certain kind of, as you told, certain kind of childhood trauma, or could be a real trauma to the brain, that these structural changes do occur per se, and those structural changes are responsible for those neurochemical changes, maybe deficit or excess, and leads to the addiction right? That is also a possibility.
Neurophysiologically speaking, it is due to addiction that those changes have taken place. First, the habit, you see what starts first? Is it the habit that starts first or the changes in your brain that start first? Are the changes due to brain, are the changes due to the habit or is the habit due to the changes? This is what you are asking. Isn't it brain में पहले होता है या addiction पहले होता है?
What we discussed, we got that. So it is an addiction which is causing a seeking behavior,
Yes.
and then that becomes a vicious cycle.
Yes.
So now I am taking the other way around.
Other way around.
And saying that if there are structural changes to the brain.
No, 1 minute. How can structural changes happen by themselves?
So as those childhood traumas or maybe an actual trauma to the brain, those could be the reasons where such changes along with other changes may happen to the brain.
No, neurophysiologically it has been found, they have tracked fMRI scans of the brain they have taken, that these kind of changes which I showed you have happened due to addictions. Other changes might have been produced due to traumas or phobias or whatever. It can be produced in the brain. You see, every strong sanskar is changing your neurochemistry, it is changing your neural connections. It is making some changes in your brain. The point for us to observe is consciously where I can take control. Changes to ho rahe hain. Due to addictions, vast changes occur in your brain. And due to all kinds of experiences, like traumatic experience as he says, changes can occur in the brain. हमें क्या देखना है? How can I take conscious control of the situation? That's the point we should learn. You understand? How not to succumb to addictions. How to be able to bounce back even if negative experiences occur. How to take charge of how do you take charge of your brain? As he said, the neural connections, whatever is happening, how do you take charge of that? Through your mind. Through the thoughts in your mind, through your attitudes, through your response and reaction to any particular situation. अगर ये ठीक रखो, there will be only positive changes in your brain. ये भी track किया हुआ है. आपको पता है, neurophysiologically they have tracked the effects of positive emotions, positive attitudes in the mind through fMRI scans. And they have, I can tell you a wonderful experiment. They studied the brains of Tibetan monks who were given to a lot of meditation, and the experiment was they asked them to meditate on something like kindness. A thought of kindness coming into their mind. After every day when they were meditating like this, a number of electrodes were fixed and fMRI scans were taken, and they found that neuroplasticity जो हम कहते हैं ना, which means structure of brain changing due to experience, that was very positive in these monks. There was absolutely no frustration, depression, no negative emotion, deep level empathy. You see, just by mind activity, in their mind they have thought of kindness, they have thought of empathy. The nature of the brain has changed. Neuroplasticity has naturally occurred in a very positive way, and they don't suffer from any negativity. So you change your brain through your mind, through your thoughts. और ये आपके हाथों में है ना? What thoughts you think is in your hands. So you see, subjective first person methodology, that's why it is so important. I can make the change, the third person report will correlate. You can correlate it with the third person report, but you make the essential changes within yourself. इसलिए आपके जीवन को आपके हाथों में लेना है. Okay? That is the essential thing. Shall we stop here?